Shout out to Coca 2005 for sending me this story. And before I even get fucking started, god damn it, these three look rough. Especially that third one right there on the end. Y'all cannot tell me she don't look like Penguin from Batman. All you got to do is give her the glass eye, the umbrella, the suit, and you got her. She already got the big ass forehead and the long hair. And she looks like she probably smells like she came out of a damn sewer. But anyway, this is coming out of a place called Otaga. And I'm sure as I read along with the article, I'm going to figure out where the hell that is. But these three right here have been indicted in an abuse case in which they found a naked child chained up in some location. Most likely, they were torturing this child and sexually abusing the child. Let me go ahead and get into this story. Three monsters, because I refuse to call them people, have been indicted in Autauga County for child abuse case where deputies found a 13-year-old boy naked and chained at the ankles. The case received national news media attention and led to an outrage in the community. Authorities found the boy chained in a home in the 2500 block of County Road 46 in September. Court records reflect that the most recent session of the Autauga County grand jury returned indictments of aggravated child abuse against Danielle Nicole Martin, age 32, the boy's mother, which is this chick right here. Joshua David Martin, age 26, and that's a rough 26, the boy's stepfather. And Vicky Seal Higginbotham, age 58, the boy's grandmother, and that's a rough 58. All three of these individuals had some relation to this boy, especially the two women, because those were the blood-related ones. Danielle Martin and Higginbotham, what a name, were in the Autauga Metro Jail on Monday under cash bonds of $60,000 each. They have been in jail since their arrest in September, so that pretty much lets me know that they are flat broke. Joshua Martin is out on bond and must wear a court-ordered ankle monitor to track his location. His ass don't need to be out of jail. Maybe they should have gave him a bigger bond. Deputies arrived in the home after receiving an anonymous call that a child was bound inside by chains and padlocks. The three were originally charged with torture, willful abuse of a child. The charges were upgraded to aggravated child abuse after the investigation showed that the boy had been chained for a period of about 18 hours when deputies arrived that day, and that the boy had been chained in a similar fashion on past occasions. Testimony during the trio's first court appearance in September brought out. Testimony at that time also brought out that the boy showed signs of malnourishment. He is in state custody. Aggravated child abuse is a Class B felony and has a punishment range of 2 to 20 years in prison. 2 years? I mean, think about this. They had this boy chained up for 18 hours. That's pretty much an entire day. Naked, bound by his ankles, which means he couldn't go anywhere. They said they found him in malnourished conditions, which means they didn't feed him. And they said that it can only be punishable with 2 to 20 years. It's black men in jail right now who are serving damn near life sentences for some damn weed. But they can face 2 to 20 years. They need to get way longer than that, but we know why they aren't getting it. But see, this is what I'm talking about. They can torture their own and still get a slap on the wrist. Literally their own, because this was their relative. 2 other children in the home, a 12-year-old and a 5-year-old, were removed from the home in September and are in the custody of the Alabama Department of Human Resources. They are half-siblings to the 13-year-old boy. Why does something tell me, 1, something may have happened to those other 2 children, or 2, something didn't happen to those other 2 children, and maybe that 13-year-old was what they would call the rebellious one, and that's why they were torturing him and not the other 2. Previous testimony by Stephen Guion, the sheriff's office investigator handling the case, brought out that the 13-year-old was forced to stay in a closet-like room during the day and was often naked. The room was large enough for a mattress on the floor that took up most of the space, he told Autauga District Judge Joy Booth during the court appearance. Testimony during an October preliminary hearing brought out that the boy had allegedly been forced to sleep in a dog crate and often had his arms chained behind his back. And they like to say that black people make bad parents. You know what? Maybe it's a good thing I have this channel because mainstream media is not going to cover this the way that I do. They'll probably cover this on a local level, maybe wherever this place is at, but not the way that I will cover it. This is some wild ass shit. This reminds me so much of movies such as like Silence of the Lambs or any of those torture type movies. Hell, you could probably throw Saw in there. Any type of movie that involves a kidnapping or a chain bound being bound by something or anything to that nature. And these three look like they are all the way off. I wouldn't be surprised if they were born out of inbreeding. Especially that damn grandmother. She looks like a damn man. And I'm supposed to believe she's 58? Well, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to believe it is 58? But they like to harp on how black parents are bad. Like I said, we have some that are rough around the edges, but you will rarely, if ever, hear of a black parent or black parents doing some shit like this. Because if it was, mainstream media will be sure to put it out there and make sure it stays out there. I remember when they tried to make that mother who took that those kids to that zoo, made her out to be like she was the worst parent in the world because her child accidentally fell into that gorilla pit and he got dragged around that pool. And then when they couldn't get nothing on her, they went into the dad's past who wasn't even there, and then went 10 years into his record and found that he had a record or he was in jail for a stint he did at back in what was it, '06 at the time, and he wasn't even there. I mean the levels of reaching they will do. But it's silly to even want to give them 2 to 20 years for something such as this. And I'm willing to bet you if they dig even harder or dig even deeper, they might find some more incriminating evidence or stuff to put up against them to hopefully put them in jail for even longer. Because they don't need to be in jail for a short amount of time. They need to be there for as long as possible and make their stay as uncomfortable as possible. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.